may not even have thought to ask. Allstate Insurance, Trahan Agency, Plainfield, and East Lyme, proud sponsor of Griswold Youth Football.
Eastern Connecticut's sports leader.
Now with 17% more holiday cheer than last year.
Ho ho, SNSN.
That's right. 17% more holiday cheer than last year, Paul. That's what we have.
How the hell do you measure that?
Well, there's metrics, to the whole thing. You take a look at how many times we crack jokes as opposed to bad jokes, as a part to one-liners and serious commentary. So we're 17% more Christmas cheer this year than last year.
Wow, that's unbelievable. I didn't realize that.
17%.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a double-digit gain in Christmas cheer.
That's quite a bit, man.
Well, I think it's kind of easy. There's a lot more Christmas cheer than there was last year.
I think there's a lot to laugh about what's going on in D.C.
Well, maybe so.
There's a lot of jokes with that,
Like what, Paul? What kind of jokes would there be?
I don't really have to get into it because I think people know what they are.
There's a lot of serious stuff going on. I really think that everybody's gone completely freaking bonkers. I really do. I think that they're just going nuts.
Well,
people are just, they don't know, what to do, how to act.
Well,
including me. There's tons of situations where I don't know what the hell's going on. It's like, I don't know what to do.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things going on.
What do you do?
I know. It's crazy. And of course, it's a full moon, so that doesn't help.
No, full moon doesn't help at all.
No.
And there's something to be said for that.
I know.
But anyway, last night, we got a couple of subjects to talk about. 2 or 3, actually. Let's get to the easy one first.
Okay.
There was a Board of Education meeting last night in Glastonbury. Okay. And they were disputing or they want to bring back, some people do, some people want to leave it, the school mascot, which is the tomahawk.
Yeah.
And it got a little heated last night between a resident.
It was actually the night before.
Okay. Well, yeah.
It wasn't last night. Yeah.
It got heated between a Board of Education resident in Glastonbury.
Which I think was a female.
No, it was a guy.
Oh,
I
thought there was a woman.
Well, there were more than one people that got heated.
All right.
But in this altercation, it was a guy and a resident, 2 men, and the Board of Education member allegedly was swearing and using foul language at the resident.
Ooh.
And then he even pushed him.
Ooh.
And then the resident clocked him, knocked him on his ass.
Wow.
So should the guy have pushed him? No. So let me ask you a question. If you were at a Board of Education meeting and the Board of Ed member pushed you, what are you going to do?
Count to 10. You're right.
Count to 10 is the right answer.
It's a tough call. Count to 10 is the right answer, but let's face it. When you're in a heated argument like that and the guy pushes you, that is looking for trouble.
Yeah.
Because they're by no means are they allowed to put your hands on you.
No, of course not.
And that Board of Education member should be let go.
Well, I think probably even from a public relations standpoint.
He should go. He should not be there.
Yeah.
He should be let go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
probably one of the leftover Democrats.
I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, but, you're right. He should be let go.
Yeah, and you have and this is all over their mascot. This is how heated it's getting. In Glastonbury. Do you want a tomahawk?
That is ridiculous. What the hell is the difference? What the hell's a tomahawk got to do with it?
I don't know.
I can understand if it was
because apparently Native Americans used tomahawks.
So what?
As weapons. So what?
So what? I don't.
So what?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But you know what? It wasn't just Native Americans.
Everybody used
a lot of people use tomahawks,
which is now really an axe.
Right.
Really turned into an axe. Is what the handheld axe is what it turned into.
Exactly.
Come on, give me a break. Well, anyway, I can see the discussion stopped real quick. when the guy
Yeah.
was on the ground.
Yeah, he did. He got dropped.
Yeah.
He got right back up again. He wanted to go.
Did he get
He
arrested?
punched him right in the cheek,
Did
man.
he get arrested?
The
Or-
only thing that is being said is that police are investigating. I don't think anybody will get arrested.
I don't think so either.
You know, on that. They'll probably both apologize to each other and flip
Right.
each other off,
Maybe.
go to their corners. And you're right. I think that Board of Education member in
Should be gone.
Glastonbury will be
It should
history.
It should be gone.
Regardless, you don't put your hands on somebody.
You know,
Like
that's the thing is he's the one that put his hands on first.
that. Right.
Should have
right.
never done that.
No matter what the verbal confrontation was, you and I can get into a verbal
Right.
confrontation,
But
right?
I'm not going to push it.
No, and I'm not going to push you either or anything like that. But even if it did, you know, the best thing to do is just kind of walk away.
Yeah.
Don't cause a scene. You know, I don't care if somebody calls me a wimp. You know, for something that's like, why? Because I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to throw things away because of my anger.
Yeah.
Right.
No, you're right.
Unless it's you, Paul, then you know that's a different story. But
I did hear about that happened. I thought there
Yeah.
was a lot of people were saying that the Board of Education guy should be arrested for assault.
I don't think either one will be though.
Yeah.
I honestly don't. I don't know. What about you folks out there in social media land? Do you think that the Board of Education member in Glastonbury who pushed the resident should be put off the board?
Yeah.
I do. I think it's a
Well, you know, it could happen here.
the resident should have brought a tomahawk.
Yeah. Well, it could happen here. That what is it? PETA? PETA? Is that the animal?
PETA?
PETA. Yeah.
Mhm.
Could come to Grizzle and say, "I don't like you using Wolverines."
Yeah, Wolverines are nasty animals. I don't think
I
they
don't
really care. You know,
Well,
what I mean,
you
They're-
never know. I mean, it's animal activists could say, "I don't want
Wolverine.
you. I don't want you using a Wolverine. Change it."
Come on over here, you filthy animal. No, I mean Wolverines are the animal themselves are between them and honey badgers.
I know, but I'm just
They're
saying it
vicious.
could happen.
They'll kill an elephant for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So do you? I mean, we hear about the mascot like the Indian or the Redskin or the Redman.
Yeah.
Those are all have been taken away due to cancel culture, right?
Correct.
But what about Tomahawk? Should Tomahawk be eliminated?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either
I-
because it's just
It's an axe.
It's a tool. I mean, no,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's not something that has feeling.
Yeah.
You know, it's a thing. And in culture, it's an it.
Yep.
It's not a he or she. It's an it.
Yeah.
So,
My vote is to bring back the Tomahawk in Glastonbury.
I think you're right. Yeah. So,
Okay.
so we should be
Because a lot of people, it said GHS. It's like, oh no, it's not Griswold. No, it's Glastonbury.
It's not very-
All right, so that's one subject
All
that
right.
we kind of no comments so far from
Nobody
social media world.
cares.
I think they care. Sometimes I think they don't. I mean, it didn't happen here,
Still don't care.
so it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, schools.
Yep.
A lot of things on social media this week,
Well, yeah.
mainly on TikTok.
Yep.
About different school threats, and what is said to happen or whatever.
Yeah, they're coming out of Arizona. They said.
Connecticut State Police yesterday put out a press release saying that they could not. They're so far at this point they don't find any of the threats being credible. However, in light of that, 2 school districts have decided to close today, and numerous parents have decided to keep their kids home today.
Even in Griswold.
Yeah, due to that.
Yeah.
So like NFA is closed today due to these threats. This is what I mean. This world is going freaking bonkers, man.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
It's because they get away with it.
Yeah.
You can do whatever the hell you want and get away with it. Nobody gets accountable for anything. Nothing ever happens to anybody. You'll slap on a hand and you go right back to doing it again. So it's time to make some examples.
So what would you do? What I mean, in light of these
Let's go back.
accusations and threats.
Let's go back to the old days. Let's get those like the Pilgrims and the early settlers had, where they had those things in the middle of the square
Mhm.
where you put somebody in and strap them in there and let them stay there all day and night. Make an example. We need some examples.
Make an example of that.
Let's
huh?
try to make some examples.
All right.
Yeah.
So Bob says, I agree. Come on, Bob. Don't try to control the situation. Come on, Bob. Don't be in control. No. Don't do it. All right. So I just put an article that we have on the SNSN radio news page on not Facebook. It's actually an actual website, snsnonline.com or snsnradio.com, where basically the state police put out, this is the press release that they sent out, that they didn't find anything credible yet. Right now, one says, any school threat that is made in Connecticut is immediately taken very seriously by law enforcement. If a threat is determined to be a hoax, there will be a thorough investigation and arrests will be made. This could also lead to further consequences within the school district. The Connecticut Intelligence Center
We have
has
one?
yet identified any specific or credible threats to any schools within the state of Connecticut. So this is yesterday.
Okay.
So this is just another way of saying, let's be fearful. Let's make everybody afraid.
That's what they're doing. Yeah.
So that article right there, you can read it on snsnonline.com.
Yeah.
Click on the news section, and there you go.
Well, a lot of the news is saying that it's coming out of Arizona. That's where they're finding
Out of Arizona?
Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where the threats are.
Okay.
It's somebody being a jerk. Because it's already started, because it's already happened, because the one incident happened in that one school now, and don't forget, yesterday was the day before yesterday was the 10th anniversary of Sandy Hook. Was it?
Yeah, it was yesterday or the other day. It was
Yeah. So that alone is making people, I think people are a little more sensitive over here because of what happened at Sandy Hook. But it happens. People just, hey, let's do this today.
All right, Bob. I'm gonna call you out, buddy. Here we go. There was something that was a joke that was made between Melissa and I on social media about a phone, and it was a graphic I put up.
Yeah.
It's how everybody gets an iPhone, except there's that one family member you can't convince to go, right?
Yeah.
Which has been a running joke in our house for the last 2 years.
Mhm.
And I put that up there, and Bob goes, "Don't try to control the situation."
Ooh. Wow.
There's nothing to control. It was a flippin' joke. And Melissa and I looked at each other, both rolled our eyes at each other when we looked at that. Like, come on, Bob. What are we proving here? Come on.
Wow.
Like the phone issue. There was no phone issue, Bob. So don't call me out if you're not going to get called back. So,
all right. Poor Bob.
I'm not 7. So
there we go.
we did. Melissa just looked at me and we went, "Oh, brother." I said, "Did you see what Bob put up?" She goes, "Yes."
Poor Bob.
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 Come on, Bob. What about Bob?
I don't know.
What about Bob?
I don't know.
So anyway, all right. So we've covered the Board of Education meeting.
Yep.
In Glastonbury, people punching each other out.
Yep.
No tomahawks were used.
It's a good thing. It would have been a bloody meeting.
Huh?
It would have been a bloody meeting.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
So there's that.
Yeah.
What do you think about these threats that are constantly happening?
Everybody's trying to make a name for themselves. Hey, let's doing this. Kids don't have to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the last one. How old was he? 13, 14 years old?
Yeah.
He didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Then there was an issue with NFA where the kid brought an air pistol or whatever,
yeah.
a pellet gun.
Pellet gun. Yeah.
I don't think they realize, how much these kids are screwing up their lives for these one little incidents.
I know. Yeah.
That stuff will follow them. I mean, like stuff with social media.
Well, unfortunately, sometimes they're really not too smart in what the hell they're doing. They're kids, they're teenagers that oh, let's do this. We have to go to school. That was probably the intention, not realizing the impact that it would cause on everybody as a result of that.
Mhm.
Oh, that's a funny thing to do. Ha ha. Let's put it up on TikTok. Ha ha ha. Well, whoever this idiot is that did it again, well, they'll catch him. They'll
Yeah.
find him. Probably turn out to be some young person again, that doesn't realize what the hell they're doing, because it's a funny joke. That's what it is.
It's not funny.
Yeah, I know
It's not funny at all.
but I think they think it's funny. Let's be funny and scare the hell out of everybody. So yeah.
Where does that start? Does that start? I mean, at home where the kids are just left to their free reign to.
But how's a parent control that?
You don't.
You can't.
It's almost
It's
impossible these days.
And how do you know that your kid is going to do that? There's no way.
Mhm.
Could be a straight, normal kid, not knowing what those going to be, just to be funny, to make a joke with his friends. That's what they did, or he did, or she did, or whoever it is. It, him, them, whatever the new name is.
Right.
You don't know. So, I mean, that's just the way it is today. Nobody cares. I'm sure
How
the
do you-
parents weren't too happy.
Of course not. Of
You
course
know?
not. Well, you would think that they wouldn't be, but
Yeah, there's no way. What are you going to do? Take the kid's phone away? What's that going to prove?
give them a flip phone.
Him a flip phone. Yeah.
Oh, look at this, Dominic. Dominic, what are you doing in Florida? Dominic is watching with his mom. Hey, Carol, how are you? Carol, a lot of people ask about the alligator head. she's the one that sent it. All right, that's now here we go. Kevin XRP conspiracy theorist Kerrigan. Sorry, Kevin. TikTok is run by the CCP and should be removed. Fact.
Yeah, some of the stuff on there isn't,
What is the CCP?
I don't know.
Is that Russia, the Soviets, or China?
It's probably not in China.
Huh?
You wouldn't do that in China.
Kevin says fact.
Yeah. You did that in China, you wouldn't be, wouldn't be around. You'd be disappearing. Yeah.
China Communist Party says.
Oh, okay.
So is the Hershey Chocolate Company, but it's delicious.
Oh, well.
Well, just go buy a Samsung.
Why would I want to buy a Samsung?
I don't know. Dominic says CCP. That's how you spell People's Republic of China, I think.
That's true. Yeah.
Dominic, what are you doing in Florida?
Yeah.
Is it just you? Or the whole family go?
You don't screw around with them.
You don't screw around with Dominic's mother either.
Oh.
I think you send Carol out there.
Uh,
Take care of business.
Yeah.
That's what I think. All right. I think we can probably no more beat that into the ground. But, as far as social media threats, where do you go with that?
I'm
Where
sure
do you
it's not
go
the
with
last.
that? No. Do you think they're going to get worse?
Oh, yeah.
You think they're going to get worse?
Oh, they're going to get worse. Of course they are. What's next?
Do you think that these are preliminary activities to something bigger?
Oh, I can't say that. I'm not sure of that. Getting something bigger. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Laura, who I always find to be a voice of reason that joins us on the show, says it's a combination of things: peer pressure, social media, lack of parental support. There are kinds that have no sense of responsibility for their actions.
Yeah. But if you think about an individual who's going to a school to cause bodily injury,
Mhm.
you think they're going to advertise it? Isn't there?
Yes.
You really think so?
Yeah, I do. I think people like, especially kids these days, like to put it out there because
Maybe while it's going on, but after that. But I don't think that if a person really was going to go into a school in, like I said, bodily harm would advertise, yeah, I'm going to go to the school at 4 o'clock today and I'm going to go in and cause some bodily harm.
Mhm.
I don't think that would happen. I think that the kids would go in there, whoever the person is would go in there and do it. And then
Right,
while they were
okay.
there, they would,
like Sandy Hook.
like Sandy Hook, or even the situation that happened out in Vegas where that guy was in the hotel window. He didn't advertise he was going to do that.
Right.
So I think the actual people.
But we're talking about kids.
I know we
Mickey.
are.
We're not talking about adults.
But there were kids there too, so don't get me
Mhm.
wrong. I'm
Right.
just using that as an example that, you know, people are going to go do this stuff, not going to advertise it before they go because their intention is to go in there and cause bodily harm. And
Right.
if I started telling you, hey, I'm going to go there and I'm going to go shoot somebody at 4 o'clock, you damn know damn well they're going to find you and stop you. So
Mhm.
I think that's why I think these are threats.
Yeah.
There's no real something behind them.
Dominic says it's so hard to police what your kids are seeing on the internet and now and how what they see affects what kids deem as proper behavior.
Well, you know, I've always said this, that I think a lot of the video games that they play have a lot to do with their mentality. A lot of kids are playing these, and we all know how they're really, you know, some of these video games that kids play today, there's shooting and killing and everything. And these are young kids.
Mhm.
These are not kids that are 19, 20. These are kids that are 10, 12, 13 years old are playing this, thinking it's all right to go shoot somebody. I think a lot of
Because
that-
it's okay in the video game.
okay, in the video game. I don't think they can look at the video game versus reality and put them both together. They just think it's okay. Now,
So
not
you think
every
the
kid.
video? So you think the
Yeah.
video game
I
is
think
their
that's-
reality?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think it has not all kids now. Don't get me wrong. It's not every kid.
Didn't they say that in the 50s and 60s about that rock and roll music is
Yeah.
from the devil?
Yeah,
Did they not?
they did.
Every generation
But-
has
but-
it, you know.
Yeah, but I don't. But the dancing and the rock and roll music, that was different. That wasn't, you know, that wasn't causing harm to anybody. This is a little bit different. So I still think
True.
I think the video games have something to do with some of the things that are going on with some of the kids today. I really do.
And you can't
we never
police
had
it.
we never had video games to the level. What you had little games, you know, your tennis thing back and forth. I mean, you all know
Pong.
and some of the other things that you played, you know.
The only person pissed off about that was John McEnroe.
So I mean, so it wasn't.
You know what? Bob makes a good point. We had cartoons with more violent content.
We did.
Tom and Jerry was probably one of the most violent cartoons you could watch.
Oh yeah, we did.
You know, that was actually an experiment.
Was it?
Tom and Jerry, when it first came out,
Really?
it was an experiment of showing a violent cartoon between two characters that looked fairly innocent, you know, set to classical music.
Yeah.
So, like, watch an old Tom and Jerry event, you know, and listen to the music, and then watch what they do to each other with smiles on their faces.
Yeah, and people laughed.
And people laugh.
They didn't look at it as a threat to one another.
Mhm. Bugs Bunny, another one.
Yeah.
Bob just said it,
Maybe.
which is true.
Yeah.
You know, you varmint.
Yeah.
Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, he got his butt beat pretty good.
Yeah.
He's always getting himself in trouble.
Roadrunner, you know, had
Yeah.
the Acme
Yeah.
credit card, getting
Right.
anvils all the time.
Yeah, I know.
But these are things that
But
are
people
violent. That
actually were funny. They didn't look at him as a violent act.
yeah,
Where see, the video games are a little bit different
true.
because your idea is you want to shoot the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think one of the earlier ones that one of the earlier video games that came out was the German game. You remember the game, the Germans? You fought the Germans. I forget what
Like
the
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein.
Yeah,
Was probably the closest thing.
it was a
to-
first-person shooter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you were the shooter, and you can get a bigger gun and a bigger gun and a
Right,
bigger gun.
right.
Yeah. So I think that was probably one of the first ones that came out that had some shooting in it. You know,
There was another one that was just like it.
I don't know.
Duke Nukem.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Duke
Yeah.
Nukem and Wolfenstein were
Two of them. Yeah.
kind of the same.
Yeah, they were the earlier ones that came out with the shoot 'em up.
Yeah.
Yeah. but really nobody really cared.
It all started with Space Invaders.
Again, at the time frame that they
Duck Hunt.
Yeah, but keep in mind that the time frame that they came out was nobody didn't appreciate the Nazis. So people,
Right.
and then most of the people that were shooting them were, U.S. Army or American not veterans, but servicemen. So everybody didn't think of anything about it, Where today it's much different,
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Even Dominic brings up the Nintendo game Duck Hunt, which came as a combo with Super Mario Brothers. And it was cool. Boom, 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 boom. Keep shooting the ducks, right? And then you have this little dog come up and laugh at you if you missed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So,
makes pro wrestling seem pretty mundane, doesn't it?
yeah.
That's violent stuff. I ain't gonna let my kids watch that stuff. Look what they're doing in that ring over there.
Yeah.
It's pretty mundane now.
Yeah.
So social media is closing. Social media is closing down schools.
Pretty much.
People on social media, but
Close it down.
but it also this was with the advent of the keyboard warrior.
Absolutely.
The person that can just sit there, type whatever they want, and feel that they're never going to get caught. They're not going to get found out. It is easier to find you on the internet than it is somewhere in society. You're not hiding on the internet.
Yeah. Yep. No, you're right. I mean, that's the difference today. Years ago, if you made a threat, it was usually local.
Mhm.
Now, if you get on the internet or one of the TikToks or one of these other ones,
Right.
when you're talking to millions of people.
Exactly.
And, some people take it serious,
Now, when I was growing up, one of the things I always heard all the time is, whatever you do, whatever you say, make sure that you're also comfortable with it being on the New York Times
Yes.
front page.
Well, it's the same thing with
Right.
emails and
Exactly.
anything that you write. You need to think twice of what you're saying.
But there's that piece of anonymity that maybe the younger generation feel that they have
Yeah.
by being able to just go on and just mash anybody up that they want to,
Mhm.
thinking, well, I'm not going to get caught. I'm just going to turn it off and no one will find me.
Oh.
Little do they know.
You can be found.
Oh, yeah. There's this thing called an IP address.
Yeah.
And or you can get pinged off
yeah.
of your phone.
Yeah. They can find
You you want to get found? Use your phone.
Yeah, they'll find.
Holy.
Now there is a jackass.
What Paul is talking about is somebody just gunned it down Main Street.
Unbelievable. I don't think he knows where he was. Well, anyway,
Watch me drive this really fast. You know why? Because I have a very small penis.
I'll tell you, I don't know. Some people have no brains.
Huh?
No brains.
I know. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. But
All right. So I'm going to take a quick break. Then I want to talk about the COVID-19 tests.
COVID-19.
And what I think about that, and what I mean, and I want to know what you guys think too, as to where these positivity rates are going. What do they actually mean? I have a theory on that. Paul and I were talking about it earlier before we went on the air. So I'm going to see what you think coming up next here on SNSN.
Authorization, enrollment, activation activities are required. Receive all services. Contact institution for details.
2 lattes, please, on me. Yeah? My free Kasasa Cashback checking account surprised me with sweet cash rewards. That's so thoughtful. Kasasa Cashback simply appreciates me. It also refunds my ATM withdrawal fees. My Megabank account just takes money out every month without even asking. Sounds like it's time to move on.
Take back the special treatment you deserve with Kasasa Cashback.
Ask for Kasasa Cash Checking at Eastern Connecticut Savings Bank today. Member FDIC. Family owned and operated. That's something you don't hear too often anymore. Highway Campers of Plainfield is now 3 generations in and going strong. If you're looking to upgrade or get your first RV, contact the family that knows RVs, Highway Campers. They'll walk you through the process of finding the right RV for you and can even finance it for you. Visit www.highwaycampers.com and find your home on wheels. After all, home is where you park it. Highway Campers is a proud supporter of Griswold Youth Football.
Reliable plumbing and heating services are just a phone call away when you contact the professionals at McGuire Plumbing and Heating in Fallontown. Family owned for more than 35 years, McGuire Plumbing and Heating has earned a reputation by providing accurate quotes and being open and honest when on the job, plus giving honest advice that may be needed down the road but isn't an immediate concern today. Find McGuire Plumbing and Heating on Facebook or call 860-376-3388. Look for the big truck with the little Irish fella. McGuire Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of Griswold Youth Football.
All right, time to take a look at the weather forecast right now. The local weather forecast. You know why? Because we are local. Here's Paul Local Ash. What?
Oh, man, I'll tell you. All right, the temperature downtown Jersey right now is 54 degrees. That's right, 5-4. That's what the temperature is. Downtown Sarasota, Florida.
That's it.
Yeah. So it's going to be sunny today to partly cloudy later this morning with temperatures in around 56 degrees. Falling to near 45 degrees tonight. Evening, partly cloudy skies will give away again to cloudy skies. Lows tonight will be somewhere around 34. For your Saturday, well, it's going to be cloudy with rain and snow. It'll be it's pretty good. We go from 54 to snow. Cloudy with rain and snow, mixed precipitation. Temperatures may be steady in the mid-30s. A little bit of wind. Of course, for Thursday evening, a little steadier rain with showers during the evening. For your Sunday, well, it's going to be cloudy skies, then partly cloudy in the afternoon. Could be another chance of rain, 37 degrees. Man, we got a lot of noise out there. And of course, my God, I can't believe this. And of course, from Monday, back to school, back to work, and right before the holidays, generally sunny, highest near 35 degrees. So we're going to drop down like 15, almost 20 degrees. So, and that's your weather on this Friday, 1-2-1-7.
Your community radio.
Live from Main Street.
Mike Minarski and Paul Lash in the morning. 80s all day and night.
SNSN.
All right, so Court comments on the SNSN news page. He said, Paul is right on. We have gone from Pac-Man to total immersion with virtual 3D violent games.
Yeah. I think that's why a lot of it's happening. Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about kids also that are playing 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 hours a day. And those are legit.
Yep. And, we're so...
They sit in their room, no lights on, playing their game.
Yeah. I mean, we're so concerned about marijuana and things like that affecting the brains of these young people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that these video games are affecting the brains
True.
of these? They are.
Very true. All right. So, by the way, Court, if you're still there, I have some things for you. So, there you go. So let's talk about, I'd like to kind of touch on a little bit the latest positivity rates as reported by the state of Connecticut in regards to COVID-19. Right. So this is just a theory. I could be way off, and this is why I bring it up, because I want to know what you guys in the community think, or what, I have some ideas sometimes that are way out there. I have some I think that are pretty spot on. I don't know where this one's going to go. So when I bring these up, I really honestly want to know what you think. So before we went on, I talked to you, Paul, and I said, back when, before the vaccine, when the pandemic was in full swing, pretty much.
Yep.
Not that it's not now, but when it was really going good, or not good, but
yeah,
like I said, and before the vaccine and all.
Yeah.
everybody and their brother and their sister and their uncle and their aunt and their whatever was getting tested for COVID-19. So there were thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of tests being reported by the state of Connecticut. So after the vaccine comes, people are getting complacent and they're like, all right, well, I'm vaccinated. So what? And now all of a sudden they're showing that the positivity rates are 6%, 7%, 8.5%. See, now my thought on that, my theory on that is that there are not as many people getting tested anymore as there were at the beginning. And at the beginning, people were getting tested to get tested.
Right.
Just to see where they stood. Did they have it? Were they did they not have it?
Right.
What was that that term where you had it, you couldn't, but you didn't? Was it a something? Yeah.
Oh,
It's gone away though. The term has gone away. If you've noticed.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Right. So now there are less tests that are being reported.
Plus home tests. They're not being reported.
Exactly. So when you do a home test, you're not reporting it to the state of Connecticut whether or not you're positive or not.
Correct. That's true.
So where does that fit, on, the whole scheme of things?
Right.
And the other thing is that when people are getting tested now, people are getting tested, I feel that they're getting tested in reaction to contact tracing more so than like they did at the beginning, where I'm just going to go down to UCFS. I'm going to go up to Dodd Stadium and I'm going to get tested just because I want to see.
Right.
They don't have that anymore. So if you have less tests,
right,
you're going to have more or a higher rate. Why?
Right.
Because people that have it because their spouse has it.
Yep.
Okay, my mother and father, perfect example. My dad got it. Don't know where he got it. Does anybody really know where you get COVID? Nobody really knows.
No.
But then my stepmother got it too, because of course, being in close proximity.
Yep.
They were tested at a state testing facility. So those are part of the numbers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Paul, let's say you test positive from a home test.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, your wife, Ginny, gets it. What happens? It's not being tested. It's not part of those numbers. So those numbers are definitely, I believe those numbers are completely skewed because there are less tests that are being reported. And the people that are getting tested are pretty much positive that they may have it because of being around somebody that does have it.
Right. Plus, there's probably a lot of people who have it and not getting tested.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true.
They may just think they have a regular common cold or something like that. So they don't, so you're right.
Do you think that has any credence? Do you think that has any water there in that one?
You would think that after all of the vaccinations that have taken place, not that vaccinations are supposed to prevent you from getting it, that you would think that the numbers wouldn't be as high as they are. We're at I think Grizzle's up in the 73, 74% vaccination rate percentage. I mean, that's quite a bit for a small town. I mean, so.
Right, but the amount of people that are getting tested is less. They are reporting less tests than they did at the beginning.
Yeah.
So you're positive. So when you have people that are going out there and getting tested because they feel that there's a risk for them, because before people were just going to get tested just because they wanted to see, or their job required it. Not that, all right, Melissa had to get tested every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day before, she walked into the building, they gave her a test, boom, never had it. But guess what? Those tests were
being counted.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
Now, they're not testing every day.
No.
So where are all those negative tests? They're not being put in there. So that makes that positivity rate look crazy.
just to give you a couple numbers, because I happen to do one from Griswold. This is from November 28th
Of this year.
till December 11th. Griswold has, in the case of new cases in the past 2 weeks, 151.
Mhm.
Okay. Average daily case is 93.5. All right.
What does that mean?
I'm not quite sure what the hell what that means.
Okay.
You know, they give these numbers. I'm not sure. Number of tests of antigen tests. Now, I think that's what you're looking for. Antigen. In the past 2 weeks was 1298. Now, our percentage of
12.98?
1298, the total number of tests. So here's the percentage of positive in the last 2 weeks, 13.1. So about all the testing, 13.1
Mhm.
seems to be the percentage of positives that we're getting, which is pretty high. I mean,
It's very, very high.
yeah, we used to be down in the 6s and the 5s.
But Paul, how many tests are being reported compared to a year ago?
Yeah.
They're less.
They're less. So therefore, yeah,
So there you go.
we are one of the highest. Other than Montville, we're actually the third highest in the London County as
Mhm.
far as the number of cases in the past 2 weeks.
I'm not saying it's not
Yeah.
there.
It's there.
You know, and
Yeah.
I've never ever alluded to it
Yeah.
that it wasn't or that it was fake or anything like that. I've
Yeah.
never thought that. But I do think that number that they're putting out right now is very, very skewed
I know.
because
Okay.
because you don't have the number of people getting tested like you did at the beginning.
Yeah. See, I'd like to see the numbers say, okay, for last week we had 42 people. But instead, what they do is they keep adding and adding and adding. And I would just like to, just for last week, we got 42 people. That was it.
Daryl says we don't have the technology in place to track or report numbers accurately. Now, with two variants running wild, I doubt we will ever have the ability to keep this under control.
Yeah.
So, as far as tracking is concerned, I don't think they're tracking one thing against the other. I think you have two totally different scenarios.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have two totally different. I mean, we're at different parts of the pandemic now than we were a year ago.
Yeah.
Again, there are still people that are getting sick. There are still people that are passing away, unfortunately.
But not to the extent that they were when we started this 2 years ago.
Laura, I agree with Mike. Of course. No, I don't know. Thank you, Laura. When people hear this number, they get scared.
Oh, yeah.
If it's put out there that it's 7%, people are like, holy crap. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? We gotta stay inside. We can't go anywhere. Batten down the hatches, wear nothing but white.
Mm-hmm.
Purify the air. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, when you see 13 point something percent, that's a little scary. But
13% of what?
that's 13% of the number of people that are getting the test.
I understand
That's
that.
what-
But is that an accurate
I don't
number
know.
compared to?
I can't tell
So
you.
what I would like to know in Griswold, what was the percentage of people that were testing? How many tests were actually given to a particular person? Because that's all on my chart. You know what I mean? You can get these numbers compared to how many tests today,
Yeah, I don't know.
compared to how many positives then and now.
Well, I think
I would bet you that the positives are lower.
No, I think what they said last time that the number of cases are higher now than they were a year ago in January. I remember at the last meeting I had.
Because the people that are getting tested are the ones that they're being tested because of contact tracing,
Yeah.
because somebody has it that's close to them. You know what? There's a good shot that someone's going to have it,
Oh yeah,
and there's a good shot that this person's already fully vaccinated. And then there's a good shot that nothing, not even a freaking cough is going to happen.
Oh, I know. That's true.
So there we go. Now I think we're selling fear.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now I think we're selling fear. Not as much. I mean, more so even than last year.
I mean, I there are some people who are really afraid to do anything as a result
Mhm.
of this new variant that's out there. They're so afraid. I mean, you're letting this control your life.
Joanne said, I've had 5 tests and 1 was positive. Okay, Joanne, when were those tests? That's the thing. Were they all at the same time? I mean, were they all within like 5 concurrent months?
I don't know.
Or
Good question.
did you have a positive test last year? But then, and then like you said too, what about the home tests? COVID, the home game.
Yeah, which was not available a year ago.
No. By
Yeah.
Parker
I
Brothers.
mean, do you think that somebody who is feeling sick and they take their home test and it's negative, you think they're going to run out and get a test from a?
Nope.
No, they're going to say I don't have it, so they're going to forget about it.
that's all they care about, and rightfully so.
Yeah, and now whether that
You know?
test is right or not, I don't know. But so, I mean, I think everybody has purchased these things just to have them in your house.
All right, so Joanne, you had a positive test in January 12 months ago, or 11 months ago, technically now, right? Now, were these all tests that were done or that would be reported to the state or the CDC, or was it a home test or tests?
Yeah. Plus, I don't know if the testing.
There's a lot of variables
And you kind of wonder how the testing was back then.
back then.
Oh,
We're
a year
talking
ago.
about, back in 1932,
No,
and they had
I'm just-
prohibition, and it was like unbelievable. We couldn't even get a beverage.
I mean, we don't know how good the tests were back there
Mhm.
a year ago. I think they've improved them since, the
Yeah.
last year. They've come up with better means of way of testing, but,
Yeah.
So,
Well, we will have to see what happens. I think the numbers right now are terribly skewed. That's my own personal opinion.
I mean, I wish they would just say, just give us the numbers that happened this week. There were 20 people who got tested, 5 people tested positive. That's all. I don't care if it was accumulation of week after week after week. That would make more sense to me. But
it would make a lot of sense. But then again, what percentage of a certain town is getting tested compared to the percentage of the town that was getting tested a year ago?
we don't know that.
That's the point.
Yeah, we don't-
And I bet you that if we did get that, we'd be down between 1% and 2%.
yeah, I don't know.
But who's going to do that number? All they're doing right now is just saying, okay, 7.5. That looks good. Let's send that out.
I mean, if you look at our numbers, they're really not that good.
That'll keep people inside.
I
this
mean,
Christmas.
come on, you're crying out loud. I mean, that's kind of scary. Not like 13.8. I mean, but out of 1,250 on one, I think it was we were going up, but still, that's do you walk down the town afraid? I don't.
Or is that the goal?
I don't. No, I don't.
Yet we complain about social media.
Yeah. I mean, social media can be used for some good things.
It can be, but it's
But-
also taking our eye off the prize as well.
Yeah. So,
It's a distraction from what's really going on.
yeah, you're right.
And that's just my theory, my belief.
Yeah.
It ain't easy being
You're
green. Hey-ho.
Yeah. So-
Kermit the COVID frog here.
Oh, well.
Anyway, all right, Paul. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming on in. Speaking of COVID, we wish Chris Goodenough a happy, healthy recovery as he is QT'd right now. And the reason why he got a test? Well, because a family member got COVID. So guess what? There's a positive test, and Chris never would have gotten a test.
No, I wouldn't.
That's why my theory works.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Paul. Thank you very much, man.
See you Monday.
See you Monday. Everybody, thank you very much for joining us today. As far as high school sports is concerned, check out snonline.com for reports on when we're going to be carrying another game. Boys basketball is a full slate. That's a full go. Girls basketball, unfortunately, we're probably at this point going to have to discontinue girls basketball just because of the fact that there's no support for it. So and I feel bad. So there's if that changes, we will let you know. So we would love to be there, but then again, it has to be realistic. Unfortunately, yeah. So we'll talk to you real soon. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Hello, I'm Miranda Mahoney, Project Coordinator of Grizzle Pride, your drug-free community coalition. We want to help you keep your kids safe during this challenging time. Social distancing is still in effect, and so is the social host law. Reports are coming in that teens are contracting the virus at underage drinking parties. Parents, allowing underage drinking on your property could land you in jail for up to a year, plus fines. Another reason why you should not provide alcohol to our youth. For more info, go to grizzlepride.org. grizzlepride.org.